Hi, my name is Shalom. You're welcome to the Talkathon. I think this is our second shoot, our second episode. So with me here, I'm with my friends and colleagues. I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves.
Hi, this is Louise, the crazy one.
My name is Edna, the humble one.
The honored gentleman here, Matthias.
PWD.
So as our today's topic will be about employer-employee relationship. We want to go into depth on how we treat our domestic workers, our own fellow workmates, our own bosses. How do they, handle us and all that. So, guys, today we're talking about employer-employee relationship. I feel hijacked because I'm supposed to be seated there with you. I feel bullied. Now, our first thing we're talking about, how do we treat our employees? How do we build trust? How do we make them get comfortable with time? We can look at our security guards, our maids, even us ourselves as colleagues.
I don't have a security guard.
How about a maid?
Yeah, but you
The maid.
But you have a house help. You must have a house help. Matthias, you have a house help.
No, the name Lydia, so I'm alone.
So you wash clothes?
No, I call some people who come at my place and then, yeah. So,
How do you treat
first
them?
of all, what I believe in is to first understand their situation. Like when you're paying them at least, you don't have to treat them according to the work you're having. You also have to pay them according to the situation also they are passing through. According to me.
Like so if let's say someone is poor, let's say they have a sick mom and father at home and they come to wash your clothes and they tell you, Matthias, I've come to wash your clothes, and she probably asks you for 50,000 when you have like one laundry basket and will be charged 10,000. Are you going to give her that 50,000?
No, when you have, you help. If you don't have, it doesn't matter. But I believe if you really think you can do that job by your own self, like you can wash for your clothes, you need to call them. You don't need to call them. But if you call them to come and help you, they're helping you. So that means they also need some help. You're getting? So that's what I
Edna seems to disagree, Loki.
She'll also talk about that. But me, I believe, not every day that if I call them, I have to pay them much. But there are some times when I also, like a salary has come in. Mm-hmm. I also have to give.
Yeah,
if I've been paying like a 10K, there I'll be giving like 20 to motivate.
You motivate with an
Yeah.
Yes, let me ask you a question. You're also an employee and you have an employer and you have problems. For example, you got an accident the other day. Did your employer increase your salary because you had
got an accident?
You see, like for example, when you come to work for someone, sometimes they give you insurance. Uh-huh. So that is not part of your salary. They are helping you out. You're getting. Oh, I called my boss. I was like, you know what? I've broken my hand and think I'll have a surgery. He was like, okay, I can help you with my own money. Like I can contribute on that bill. You're getting. So that motivates. I'll be like,
so
okay.
Your employer.
Yeah. Yeah, he contributed on my bill.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay, for me, I'm a very big believer of professionalism. So whether you're a sweeper, or you're a cleaner, or you're a gateman, or you're a house help, I feel like we need to have a working thing. Like even me, I'm an employee. Yeah, I'm maybe earning, let's say, a certain amount of money, and my employer doesn't change my money according to the circumstances. Yes, you might go through actually me, I don't even want to know anything about your personal life. Don't tell me nothing. I just need to know your name, your village. In case you run away, where do I go to find you? In case you die, where do we bury you? That's that. I don't want to know your jazz manyango. I don't want to know. I don't want to know your problems. I don't want to know your personal life because I'm an empathetic person. I end up being too involved, even going to the hospital with you. And the moment you find that you're lying to me, because I don't know you. You just a name.
Yeah.
So we have an agreement. If I'm paying you 200,000, I'm paying you 200,000, and that will be it. Don't tell me your problems. Don't tell me your 200,000 will be there. Me, that's what I believe in.
So personally, I believe in mainly two things when it comes to employer-employee relationships. One, which would be understanding. And in my case, I'm talking about both sides. One, I as an employee need to know what my employer expects from me. Then, even him, he's actually supposed to understand that, when I tell Louise to do ABCD, this is her capability of doing certain things. Don't overburden someone with work. For example, I grew up with maids at home, but during the holiday, we actually knew that even as children, you're supposed to help out with certain chores at home. It's not only the maid supposed to do each and everything because you're kids, you are busy the maid, wash dishes, do ABCD.
I feel like
you help out.
That is not what we have in this
Even with
new
kids,
era.
the situation is tricky. As kids, you're not there to help the maid. You're there to learn. So for me, I'm okay with kids learning or not helping. Because when it turns to helping is if I find dishes dirty in the sink, I'm going to come for you, the maid. I'll be like, why is the sink dirty?
Yeah.
I just don't tell me my child was the one supposed to be doing the dishes and she slept. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I know.
Where you're saying you don't need to know what your employees do. Trust me, you need to. Because you might be having someone in the house, he's doing another
No, I think
thing
it's the issue
behind.
of getting into their personal
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
How far can you go
You don't have
into
to.
someone's personal life to like understand, and because the moment you cross that boundary and you get
Yeah,
too
yeah.
involved, there is that bit of getting too comfortable.
Yeah,
and
like when you have a maid and you be comfortable too much with her or him, they tend to be family members. They start forgetting their roles.
But are they supposed to be family members?
They are, but they will forget their roles. They will even start, like, the way how they are responding to you as a boss, it will change. They feel like now we are at the same
Yes,
level.
with the way that you're moving, with your mania, according to your problems, we solve them. That's how they will get with you. Like, they will get with you to that, like, this is my brother, whatever. They will even sit with you in the chair. When the visitor comes there, they'll...
That is a sensitive bit. So,
Generally. Okay, for me,
is the
I believe...
maid-
I
is
believe...
the maid allowed to sit in the chair with you or not?
Sit in
Why
the chair
in the sitting room? Like, let's say you're watching it.
Thank you, God, for
Thank you
birds.
for the birds.
They are disagreeing. They don't want them
Nature
to
is doing the most.
Yeah.
So let's say when you have a maid, would you allow them sit with you on the dining table and share a meal with you? Would you allow them sit with you in the same chair as they're watching TV? As you're watching TV, would you allow them sit with you to watch the same channel and all that? I don't know. What is your perspective on such?
Ideally, for me, if you're staying with me in the house, I treat you like a human being. You're not an animal. If you don't have any pending tasks, everything is okay. Please, by all means, sit, watch Sanyu. If you're sitting, all of us, and eating food, there is no harm in a maid. As long as she's seated, eating, no problem. And she's not seated, touching your husband, shouting at your
Out of the
kids,
things
wanting to
Yeah,
serve.
but are these maids who will come and sit next to your husband? Let's say you're watching something.
No, that is
And
that is
then-
boundaries. No, even if it was not a maid and it was maybe your sister, or that would also not make sense. Even if it's just your friend staying around and your friend is choosing to sit next to your husband, like, I'll just treat you as a human being. You have a right to sit on the dining table with us, but know your limits. Yeah.
What I know is when someone is coming in the house and he or she is new and you expect to stay with them for long, you can provide with them the seat. Because you always have a sitting arrangement. Kids sit there, me and my wife, maybe we sit here. So I don't feel like the maid coming, like, yeah.
The interview.
Yeah.
You say, this is where the big man sits. So whether or not he's absent or present, you will never see me
must-
sit there. You will never see my kids sit there. So please, don't sit there. This is where my kids sit. But also, no. Where would I have a special place
A
where my
special
kids sit? Is it their
No.
house? Is it their house? It's for me and my husband. Let them go and find their husbands.
Have their own houses as well. Why are they having special spots?
Why do they have special spots?
Uh-uh.
Why? The only special thing they have is a bed. That's all.
only thing
My
you're
child's
entitled
special. Unless
to.
you're a kid who's like vulnerable, like if you eat from someone's plate, you fall sick. Where would I have a special plate for you? You're a
I
child.
know, right? Surely.
No.
Surely.
But ideally, I feel like domestic workers should be treated the way human beings are treated. That's just the bare minimum. If you, I don't know, guys, allow me to speak Runyankole. Like if you kwesembeleza, yeah? If you, they take advantage of you. Luganda. If you overthink, get involved in their life, they get familiar with you. But I think treat them the way you want your employer to treat you.
What you're saying.
Yeah.
You see what you're saying? Even the bosses do that. Most especially when they know, like, for example, you're single, they think, oh, you're married to your job and you yourself. They will tend to call you even over, like, after work, you'll be receiving calls.
Why
from,
I
"Oh,
call
you
him
know,"
after? Because I'm single?
at 10, you receive a call from a boss. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, that's not kawa. For me, I think that also comes down to
That
communication.
comes with boundaries and
Yeah.
communication.
Yeah,
and
because
all
we are
that.
all adults, even in a boss
clues.
employee situation. We also
You-
have a
you might
personal
be
life. What? Oh,
having-
okay. What if? Just what if? I carry my phone to work, and when I go back home, it is a borrowed phone, and I have to give it. How
do you handle
how
that?
do you handle such a situation? I don't need to tell you about it. So let work be work and home be home. I don't know you like that. Don't disturb me. Yeah.
Louise.
And Louise is the pro.
Louise.
Louise is the.
They should just pass on the microphone to you. And
How
tell
do you
us.
do it,
How
baby
do you
girl?
Do it? As in, people need to understand.
How do you do it?
How do you do it? Like, straight out. I'm out of this place. Guys, please, no more.
Don't call me. I don't know you're not my
I don't
friend.
know. Till next time.
Till next morning.
Till Monday, even possible. As in,
If there's a public weekend,
I'm out.
It's just simple. Work is work, home is home. Full stop.
There's
so
no
when you're at
mixing
home,
issues.
Unless
do you
there
make
is
calls for
urgent.
mommy when you're at work.
Sometimes. But also, my mom doesn't call me all the time. She calls when it's important. Full stop. Yes.
You guys-
Because I am
it's
at
not
work.
If it's urgent at
If
work,
it's urgent at work, like I said, don't send me a message, WhatsApp message. No, I will not open it. I will see it. I won't open it.
Simple as if one has
Call
urgent
me.
calls.
If it's urgent, call. But
you
also,
say-
they might
also
be
your
like
calls,
3
their
calls.
chances of not picking.
Like I said, they might have
We
to
need
be
know
like
How
3.
many times? We should call you 5 times and then we'll know.
What I
That
Then
is
I'll know
urgent.
that, oh, this is actually urgent. Otherwise,
we need to
work
change,
is work.
when we are doing our CVs, what we put in there, like, I'm flexible. Those things,
Flexibility does not come into my weekend, my dear. No, it doesn't. During the week, you have me the whole week. I will be as flexible as you want me to be. I will bend. I will do whatever I want. Weekend is mine.
You see,
It's
and
called 2
That's
days.
the
Just 2 days for
challenge.
me to relax.
Me, I think it also depends on the kind of work you have. Like
Yeah,
people who work
only
in
when it's urgent.
hospitals, hotels,
Mine, even you're working.
yeah,
That is why I
financial
did not
department.
go into medicine.
Right? Even finance department also. Like Matthias, I sympathize with you. Because on Monday, we might need something for the office. Like maybe there's no, like Yaka has got done of office. And it has got done like on a Saturday. And we can't stay, then the office can't stay without security lights. Matthias has to receive a phone call, go to the bank, release money.
and yeah, and make sure it's
That
done.
is why policies are supposed to be better. Systems, better systems. Find out on Friday that electricity will get done tomorrow. So that he gives you the money on Friday.
Sawa yona bosa kuva mungo.
But you're right. What I do is now we have to make sure that when the month is starting, I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we need, as a finance manager, like accountant if you know that you're part of releasing money to the expenses, you need to be studying well the expenses of the farm. Then you know that at least per month we can purchase this, and this.
So basically, everyone should have like a full-blown like.
Yeah, you need to study
full
very
setup
well.
System. Not these things of why someone not flexible, and then you expect yourself to call them on a Sunday night
Yeah, they're flexible.
or Saturday
When
night.
it comes to work, they are
So,
flexible.
Yeah.
Not when they are resting.
Not when they're resting.
Yeah, but
basically
also
our
a well-rested team is an efficient
Exactly.
team.
But I don't believe that they'll keep calling you every weekend.
Right?
If you make it, if you make it look like it's okay,
If you make it
They'll-
seem like you can work
Yeah.
anytime.
yeah.
They will call you.
I will see your
You know,
call, then I
there's-
will ignore.
So speaking of employee-employer relationships and whatnot, there is this issue of employers having worker bees, and where they like drain you. You find yourself having like 10 tasks to do at once, you know, and you're that person. And you are that person. You know, you have to maintain the work-life balance. You have to have the proper communication.
Do you want
have
to vent?
You know, yeah, this is an open space.
Do you have something on your heart?
Entirely
Safe
ours.
space.
It's a safe space. Let's talk about it. The issue of being a worker bee, and yeah, I find it draining, honestly, if you ask me. Like, but then how do we stop it?
I think naturally, your employer will study you and we know like, okay, for this person can do this, do this, do this, because they have seen that in you.
The potential
Yeah,
to make you a worker.
that's how, because when you're in an office, not everyone is so perfect.
Yeah.
Someone is, you find like one employee, you have to push that person and you won't let her go. Or him. You're getting? You need to push that person until he or she is out of the comfort zone. You're getting? Yeah. So I believe when the employer is giving out tasks, he knows or she knows that person that will do those tasks very well and in time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though I don't say that they should be giving out like to
Then you
one
become
person.
a work overload.
Yeah.
You find yourself doing almost everything for the office because you're good or because you're perfect at what you do.
Yeah, that's why we have like toxic work environments where people report each other. You know, you have a lot of stuff on your table, but you can't give it to anyone because they feel like you can execute and others can't. So you end up reporting the other person who can't execute. You're like, but why
Yeah,
is this
who is this
person
one?
still on the team if they can't
Perform.
I'm here dying, yet this person can't help me. What is the importance? Then you end up reporting your friends and then they get fired. So really, for me, I think employers hire equitable HR systems and personnel so that you don't have to break people. Also, do contracts and don't go outside the contract. Because also you as an employer, a business person.
Yeah.
Imagine if someone gave you a business contract and then they are making you expecting you to deliver beyond even what is in the contract.
What is in the contract?
How would, that's the same exact way that employees feel who are worker bees. I am not a worker bee.
This is how you hear
But do you
Edna
know
tell you,
that-
I'm not on that team, guys.
I'm not on the worker bee
There are
business,
some
girls.
employers who don't like have that time to beg. They feel like you can be replaced at any time.
That's
Yeah.
also a thing
And-
about toxic
yeah,
work
and when
environment.
where we are every year, universities are releasing graduates.
Students. Yeah.
So if you tend to think you can't be flexible to that extent, that you can't do that you will stay in your comfort zone of your contract, you're done.
Subhanallah.
You're done.
Okay, so for me, I think
The editing team should put a worker bee emoji on it.
I feel like you guys are bullying. Stop bullying us.
I might agree on Mawakabi. but my issue is it's important to learn to ask for help.
Yeah.
I do a lot, yeah, I take on a lot, and yeah, but I'm one person, when I feel like I am breaking, I will be like, guys, I need a hug, I'm breaking,
Yeah,
I need help. So it's really, really important to know when you actually can't do something, and reach out to your colleagues, your friends, and ask for help. And once in a while, you can find a way of telling actually your employer that, you know what, you're adding me a task, but I still have this that is really
Yeah.
urgent. And, you know, it's not really good to keep accepting tasks, but you know you have
I think it's-
something urgent. The more you accept, and for them, they're actually waiting for their work. Yet you've actually taken on another thing that is also seemingly urgent. So you need to actually know how to tell them that, you know what, can we have someone do this? Maybe I will review, but can someone do this? In the meantime, I'm doing this and that and that.
Yeah,
And
I think, yeah, you're right.
The worker bee.
You can even ask. What I believe in also, when you feel like you're over squeezed, you can talk to some of the staff, okay? And
Yeah.
and maybe they'll get to understand your situation. There you can get a solution,
That's when your workmates are your friends.
Yeah.
which you have to do. Like, I don't believe like you should be at work and you have enemies.
Haven't you guys heard of places?
Toxic work environments. Especially
People
like
can't even-
in government, there's stiff competition, which is very negative and very
And it doesn't
unnecessary.
make sense because if you're all on the payroll, for goodness sake, why are you fighting?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
because
See-
someone is getting more than me, I also want a Benz that they have.
Even
That is how
me.
people end up beefing.
And you find like in these workspaces, people actually are not friends. They have no communication.
Me, I'm not your
and
friend.
Okay, so okay. Eh? I tell my jam.
I don't even know your program.
Because you guys
We
like
know
to
everything
gossip.
literally.
You're such gossip girls. That's why you know about me so much.
And a bit of lacking, having a whole being a worker bee situation. We talk about the whole thing of lacking recognition. You find the worker bee is not being recognized in the workspace, and they're not being given the credit where it is due. You know, like she's being left out, or he, or you know, and you're being drained. However, what would you say anyway in that case? Like, how do we work it out? And yeah.
Nze recognition sijagala. Naye salary increment. Kikankolela.
It is recognition in
Like,
its own way.
Clap for me,
It
clap for me.
is.
You rather not clap for me, but my account is
And
doing
they put your
well.
firm somewhere. Employee of the month. Employee of the month. Get your picture, put it in the firm.
And every month it has to stay.
Standards.
Always
Standards. Employee of the month.
I actually agree with Edna, though for me, how I slightly differ from you, I think it's very good for an employer to be able to realize that, oh, Matthias is actually doing good work, and say it. It doesn't hurt you. In any way, it does not hurt you. And Matthias will actually be motivated to do more,
Yeah.
or actually to want to do more.
Yeah.
If you actually appreciate your employees, that's a very, very good thing. And also, it's, like Edna says, it doesn't help if I have experience of I'm doing different tasks. I am learning all fields in the office, but my account says I am a cleaner. So, I mean, it is very good to appreciate once your employees are actually happy, work in the office space will be really, really good. And
Yeah.
it benefits us all, even you as an employer. So, yeah, that's it.
Scotland.
That's why
This is what
that's
we-
why most of workplaces, there are staff appraisals. They appraise and see, okay, you perform like this. Maybe you are the employee of the month. We are giving you this, 50,000. But there are some places I've ever worked for, they don't give a damn.
Yeah,
don't
and
want to care.
They don't care.
There are many.
Like,
You-
Actually, that's
More
the thing
work,
is there are more toxic workspaces than they are healthy workspaces.
You
Yeah.
living, it doesn't cost them.
And those people who I don't care. I will hire someone else tomorrow. You can
Because
leave
I,
if you
I
want.
once worked for an organization for only 5 months, but leaving wasn't like,
It wasn't.
and I was among the people who was working
It was not
like
their
a lot
concern.
because
Wakabi.
yeah, yeah. But what I gained from that place is that right now I know like I can do things I didn't know because I got to learn those things from there.
You could experience.
Yeah, experience. So what was in my mind was like, okay, you just work, but when you get another place, trust me, you'll be
You will
perfect.
live, yeah.
You'll be perfect because you have learned things. You have learned how to do this, how
At
to
what
do
point
this.
do you break your back for experience and learning?
This is Uganda. You have to.
And when do you
Welcome to
feel,
Uganda.
at what point do you say, I'm done? Because me personally, I've ever left a job because, yes, I wanted to learn. I wanted to get the skills, but mentally I was not okay. I was drained. I was exhausted half of the time. And then, you know what's so funny? Society. When I quit this job, everyone was like, how do you quit without a plan B? How are you going to survive? How are you going to do this?
Of
I'm
course.
Like, I was not going to die fast before I can think of,
Yeah,
know.
because you die and your job remains.
And the job remains. And
They actually advertise
They advertise
very
immediately.
fast before you even start rotting. They have started advertising. They have got someone.
They're like, okay, I have some job. Are you there? Can you come and that's make calls.
Yeah,
Because
because
me, where I left is they were like, can you recommend someone to come and work?
Can
Me
you
who's
imagine?
leaving, they are saying, can you recommend?
that means we would not
Okay,
find
other
this,
stuff would just go, but for me, I
essential.
resigned. I think that's why they were asking for me to recommend. But other stuff would just like in the morning. He just left. Amon is no longer there.
And then
You see?
move on.
For me, I have an uncle who died of cancer, lung cancer, but he got it from the airport. We went to the burial on Friday. By Monday, in the newspaper, it was his position, the advert.
That, imagine.
There was an advert for his position. I was like, what? Next to his death announcement.
Oh God, sorry. Sorry, I'm laughing, but I mean,
You know, you check the papers to see if the paper published a death announcement.
Imagine.
You find the advert.
straight next to you,
man, guys. It's because long time ago, all adverts were on.
Yeah.
One,
On one side, one
why it's a
column.
death, or why it's a house being sold. Or,
All of you, one side.
I was like,
Oh,
Jesus,
God.
Mr.
life
Booth
is hard.
can come and
Hey, the family of what in loving memory. Then, next to it was, I think it was Civil Aviation Authority that used to, then they advertised. I was like,
We're having a discussion on this whole work-life balance and then when to know enough is enough. But in conclusion, how you treat other people at home and how you treat them and how you want to be treated at work.
yeah, you know, there are people who they treat them as, yet you know, you're shouting at your maid, you're shouting at your gate man, you're shouting at everybody because you're stressed. You're carrying the stress from work, your husband, your children. You're putting it on an innocent maid, just who has made a mistake of maybe putting the salt instead of putting it in a salt shaker. Yes, she has put it on a side plate.
And then
Or
that
by
is an
accidentally,
issue.
she has served you on the plate of your husband, which she even didn't know about. Then you shout at her. Then you shout as if she has killed your mother. I feel like when you treat her like that, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. She's taking bullets for nothing. Then you expect to be having a healthy work environment. Back at office, you're there telling your husband, "But honey, can you believe my boss shouted at me?" Like, sis.
You see,
Oh.
you see, most of times you have ever seen people saying that when that guy get drunk, that's when he can abuse people. But I believe they wanted to abuse
In the first place.
in the first place.
Yeah.
So maybe when your employees go wrong, please be sure and make sure you talk to them. Say it out then at that time. Don't
And in
hide
the
or don't
moment.
keep it. That's when you go at work and you stress, you come back home and he's also doing the same thing you should have already said or talked about, and now you're shouting. So I believe when someone is drunk and is shouting at you, they already planned that. So I also believe when you come home and you're shouting maybe at me, I'm your
There are some
employee,
women.
you
And they don't drink. It's like 6 a.m. in the morning. They're opening for her the gate. She's there saying,
Just comes,
what you
enters
know?
while shouting.
She's so me. If you shout at a waitress, I just know automatically you're shouting at your maid. But then also you don't know when you're not around. You eat her food. It's just as simple as putting for you dirty water in a glass.
And
You won't
get,
know.
yeah,
You will be in the hospital.
for some time.
Treat those people well. Your gate man, it's as simple as collaborating with thugs and they beat you before you reach the gate.
and that's why for me I would say if I'm like that person, I will leave the job. That's the time you know that Banang, I don't belong to be here.
Exactly, but then for you, a nice person. You'll be like, I'm too angry at my boss, I need to leave.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah,
are people who,
you
when they're
will.
angry, you never know, a gun, they'll shoot
I
each
don't know.
other. Everyone is shooting everybody.
Shooting,
The-
shooting.
It's sometimes it's not even about because you can have rough months.
Yeah.
There's a month when you can't pay your help. Yet you know you're feeding them, you're housing them, so maybe you assume they don't need the basic. You're
Yeah,
giving them
the
the basic
payments.
needs. They may not need the payment, so you postpone payment. How do you talk to someone who you have shouted at the day before that I'm unable to pay?
To pay,
I'm unable to pay you this month. They will not be able to understand.
yeah.
Those are the maids you hear that they've escaped. And they've
they
gone with
move
your clothes.
yeah,
They've gone with
some.
your.
They don't even take
They don't
much.
take much,
They don't
by
take
the way.
much, by the way. That's the funny bit. Like
Bed sheets.
And
They are
like one
beating
plate
your
or one
child.
cup.
They are beating. And how do you
And-
shout at a maid who's taking care of your child? You're putting your
You
child's
remember,
life in
which year
danger.
was it where we had a whole rampage of maids beating kids like a problem?
Yes.
I think this is the issue.
Mostly their bosses are like that. Mostly their bosses are shouting at them and they're frustrating them, so they put all the anger on innocent children. And you know how children are, like you have to be patient with them and stuff, but you're telling a child sit, the child is calling, sit, the child eat, the child doesn't want to, it's just shouting. And so she gets frustrated at the wrong one. So generally, guys, the way you want to be treated, that's how you should treat your domestic
Yeah.
workers.
I think all boss need to be like my boss because for me, whenever I move with him in his car, maybe we are going for certain short meeting. When we are coming back, I'll be like, but you used to buy me lunch. What happened to you? I think he will also see that in his mind. Like, okay, let's go for lunch. So I believe all
So you
employees.
eat lunch.
So you mean
And you don't bring for us.
Listen, at office you'll have your meals.
For you, I can't come back
you go for something different and then you go with
Can the next question be on favoritism?
Let's talk about that now.
Then you need to work hard to be the favorite
Wait,
employee.
so we are not.
We are not working hard.
No, I'm saying like
You're saying what?
working hard and be a friend to your boss.
Oh my God, we are hard.
Banala.
You need to be friends of your boss. That's why for me, weekend, my phone is on.
If the phone is on, so the boss calls him anytime.
Calls him anytime and they
So
talk.
Kati,
Okay, so but for you who feels like my weekend is my weekend,
you can't be a favorite.
You can be a favorite.
now you need to work hard so that also your weekend is
But like
flexible.
we said, work-life balance. It is my family time. It is my me
That's
time.
why I said
So,
when your boss knows that you're
because
single.
I want to be my boss's favorite. I should also pick his calls at midnight.
That's why they don't buy you lunch, darling. You either choose one, either the weekend or lunch.
Monday to Friday. That is my extra time also. That is also my extra time. He knows that, okay, sometimes it's flexible also on weekend. So maybe, yeah. But
There was a mole lady, wakabi uno.
no. What I was saying is employees also need to be friends with their
I
employers.
think it
and
comes
vice
to
versa.
The environment that the employer
have
creates from
created,
the word
That's
go.
why for me, whenever I'm to get maybe a new job, I'll first pray about my boss first. If I'm migrating to another house,
Yeah.
I'll also pray about
Your
having
landlord.
Yeah.
the landlord. So that because for me, I haven't had like a bad landlord. I can even spend like a month without paying him, and he won't shout at
Yeah.
me. Because I believe that when you pray about it, as me, I believe as a Christian, before you get to another job or like another house or another friend, you need to pray and let
Yeah.
God please decide for you and
Yeah,
be
I
like,
think
okay,
also maybe before I left my previous job, because I used to go through so many toxic workplaces and so many workplaces that would, over squeeze you and all that. It's apart maybe from the organizational world. I prayed about joining somewhere else and I'm like, God, I need a good work environment, I need a good team, and I need to have friends. I need, from the word go, from the head, I want them to be my friend.
Oh,
And it actually works.
who's your friend?
And I thought we were friends. I thought you guys were friends. And so it comes, and it all comes all the way from how do we treat each
Yeah.
other, how do you call each other, and there's a small issues.
And there's no way you can come from a healthy work environment and you're seeing how you're friends with your colleagues and
Yeah.
and then you go back home and you shout at your maid.
You can't.
You
By the way,
can't.
You cannot.
The stress is less.
And the funny
and-
bit is,
yeah.
you see, we're talking about toxic work environments. Now, like someone, if they're to join a peaceful environment, nature has a way of filtering you out without even anyone hassling or pushing you out of it. Nature will push you out on its own, and it's just interesting. Natural selection, yeah, and that is it. Louise?
eyo ensonga nkulu nnyo.
Ensonga eyo, man. Anyway, I think respect is important in all kinds of relationships. Boss, employee, employee, boss. There are so many reasons why there are cases of disrespect. One, probably you're dating your boss. And if he tells you something, you will respond anyhow. There are so many husbands in homes that are having affairs with maids.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you're having an affair with your maid,
To be
the respect reduces. There is that. And then think about how she will respect your wife. Because automatically she loses it.
Of course.
This
of
woman
course.
is going to be telling her something to
Of
do, and then
course.
she's like, sha, nze kasta, mister, So, but then also, it's very, very
By
key.
the time you sleep with a maid,
you understand her. You see, men don't make mistakes.
by the time you sleep with a maid, nawe towewa mukitiibwa. Hey maid,
You may find that ebintu byakola.
have some class, have some class.
Yeah.
You see, let me tell you about that. I don't know if you are getting off topic, but I believe
Have some class.
men. What I know about men, a man to sleep with a lady, I think they also see like that care. Maid abera mukazi. And another thing, she's caring.
Guys, we're coming
She's
to
caring
the
because you
end of
pay
the
her. She's
show.
doing her job.
We're coming to the end of the show. I'm going to request my colleagues to say one last word as we
Have
close
some
this.
class. Don't be sleeping with maids. At least get another person. Don't a maid. Have some class. That's my last word.
Me, my last word would be like there should be communication.
Okay, clear communication.
Clear communication.
Okay.
It will solve all the issues.
Mrs. Matovo.
Scotland.
For me, my last word would generally be the importance of respect and understanding from both parties in this relationship. Just like all your other kinds of relationships, even employer-employee relationships should have a lot of respect from both parties. Not only the one that is at the bottom should respect, even the ones at the top are supposed to respect those below them and understand each other.
Yeah.
Zero. Because you're paying her.
Thank you all for watching. Once again, these are entirely our views. They're not, afflicted or they're not affiliated to anything or anyone. They're entirely our views. My name is Shalom, Louise, Edna, and Matthias, and we hope you get to subscribe and watch us next time. Feel free to ask any questions or have the conversation going on. We'll keep in touch.
Till next
Till
time.
next time.
Bye.